don't think she has the means, great means. So I'd like, would you take some money for her from me? I said, certainly, of course, yes. So she gave me, and I telephoned this lady and so on, and we met. I gave her the answer. And we spoke, a very charming, very nice lady. And so, and she said, please remember when you come again to Krakow, please call me. It will be so nice to see you again. I said, yes, of course I will. So next time I went, I said to her, do you want to send something from here? I'll take something for your friend. So again, she gave me some money and I called her up. Said, would you like to visit me at home? I said, yes, gladly. So we made arrangements. I came. And there we were in a very old house, very old, it's cold in there and not very nice. So a huge apartment, but terribly neglected and so on. And and I said, how are you coping here in this large, big apartment all on your own? So on. So she tells me, she said, would you like to see it? I said, yes, gladly. So she takes me around and we come to a room. So there's a painting on the wall, a watercolor of a child. She says, and I said, what is that, your grandson or your family? Or she said, oh no, it's a terrible story with this one. I said, how come? So she said, well, you wouldn't know. This was a boy, he was the son of a very close friend of mine, Dr. Ross. I said, yes. Dr. Rost, yes, I met and I knew Dr. Rost and so on. She said, yes, and that was her son, Gabrish. I said, Gabrish? What Gabrish? She said, well, that was her son. And I said, yes, but I knew a Gabrish Ton. She said, yeah, that's him. He was the grandson of I said, so how come he's hanging here? How come? It was a watercolor, and I would never have known. Never would I have recognized him. So she says, you knew him? How did you know Gabrish? He was such an impossible child. I said, yes, I knew him because we were in the kindergarten together and I knew him, yes, I knew him very well. He was slightly older than I was, but we were in the same kindergarten. So how come you have were you related? He said, not at all. So please tell me about it. So she said, yes, I'll tell you. This came from one of his, I don't know, someone who looked after him or something like that, whether she was his governess, no, but she was the sister of a governess, something of that sort. And when she was making, and she got this from the family somehow, this painting of Gabrish, and then she was liquidating her thing. So she didn't know what to do with it, and she asked me if I would like it, and I said yes. So she gave me this thing, particularly because I knew him, and I was friendly with his mother. So I said, how come and what happened? She said, well, you see, this was the lady who the mother, the parents, gave Gabrish to her to take him away from Krakow to the country somewhere, to hide him. He didn't want to go. And she said she will look after him. She will take him away from the surroundings altogether, and she'll look after him. And he was, she said, impossible like he was. He didn't want to go. But by force somehow, they put him on the train with her, and they were going wherever. I don't know where they were going to, but by train. And the control comes in and walks the conductor plus a Gestapo or whatever, some policeman, German policeman, and they want papers, the usual thing, papers. Are there any Jews here? And something like that. And everybody said, no Jews. I am a Jew, he says. I am a Jew. And they took the boy away, and that was it. And that was it. Can you imagine? At the age of 12, they were torturing him. It wanted torturing. So what could he have been doing to have been tortured? This is the story of Gabrish. And she said, would you like that painting? Would you like it? I'll give it to you. And I said, yes, I would love it, but I'm not going to take it off your wall. I thought if I do, then she'll have it. It was, this, there would have been this visible thing for it. It would have looked horrible. I said, one day, if you'll allow me to photograph it, and I photographed it, and I have that photograph somewhere. I have it. But she said, but I would like you to have this if ever. I said, that'll be very kind, and I'll take it, but not now. Can you imagine?
That's an amazing story.
An amazing story about Gabrish.
Can I have a quick pause and run to the
Yes, of course, you know where.
Yes.
Toward the door. Toward the door.
Yes. Sprawdzę, czy tu się wszystko dobrze dzieje. Jedynie dzieje.
Proszę to mieć koło siebie.
Dobrze. Nie. To panią nagrywamy, a nie mnie.
No dobrze, ale ja...
Nie.
Można mnie słyszeć, nie?
Wszystko jest okej. Myślę, że lepiej jak jest bliżej.
Proszę się częstować.
Bardzo dziękuję.
Winogronami. No.
So then, you spent 3 years in the kindergarten, and then you went to school.
Well, took a little time. But for 3 years I was in kindergarten, I think. Maybe 3, maybe 2.5. I can't tell exactly, but my father decided that I should go to school. I was 6 years of age, and he said, and everybody was saying, how do you intend her to get to school at the age of 6? Nobody is going to get her in, to take her in at the age of 6. What school? He said, no, she will get into a school, not just any school. I want her in that school. So that wasn't very easy. That was not very easy because they didn't want to accept me. Of course not. I had to go in front because I was too young, because I was Jewish.
Exactly. So how did you?
And this was a school, very Catholic school. There were a few Jewish girls, but very, very few of the whole school. I had everything against me, and my father was absolutely insistent. And he would say, a child who can read and write and can count a little should not be at home. And he forced me through. And I was in front of a commission, and they accepted me.
So when did you learn to read? Did you learn on your own?
Not on my own, obviously, but with my father.
At
My
home.
father at home, of course, yes, yes. We read together, we sang together, we did many things with my father, everything together. So from him, everything I knew from him, because
What was your relationship with your father? What was
fabulous. He was, yes, I was really his daughter, there's no doubt. And we did absolutely everything together. He took me with him everywhere. I mean, not when I was a baby here, but by the time I was 3 or so, he would take me. If he went for an inspection somewhere to town, I went to Tarnów, I think it was, I must have been 5 or 6. I was not at school yet, so must have been, I might have been 5. He was taking me with him. And I remember these discussions, how I remember how can you take a child, how can you go with the child? He said, no problem, she has a nanny, she'll go with us, and when I'm free, I will be together, and I'm taking her with me. He took me everywhere.
So
we danced together, we sang together, we skied together, we swam together, we bicycled together. Not only did I bicycle, I had to do the figure 8 at the age of 3 and 4. Yes, he made me do all these things and ski with me and everything. I went under his legs, in between the legs. Yes, he was marvelous. He was really, really marvelous.
Sounds like a wonderful person.
Wonderful. He was wonderful.
And very determined too.
Yeah, he was very determined. He wanted that school and no other, and he got me in.
So tell me about your first day at school.
Sorry? First day? I can't tell you. I don't. It was, I can't tell you.
So
that.
first
I
memories.
don't remember, but I remember my days at school. I remember my school. I remember what we did. I remember that we had there was a priest who was coming for the girls. So I had to be outside the class for this period of while the priest was there. But we, the Jewish girls, also had a Hebrew teacher, or was it a rabbi? I don't think he was a rabbi, but he taught us, I mean, Judaistics or something. And I do remember his name was Helfgott. That I remember his name. And I remember that he was sitting and eating some, I don't know, raisins or something and falling asleep. And that was the lesson we had. And eating raisins. That was it. And we had, of course, we had to go, and we went to some impoverished homes and brought some things for whatever we were given to give to these people. Now and again, we were singing patriotic songs. It was a school very, very, very Polish, very nationalistically so.
Wow.
And I remember, yeah, well, it was like that, yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about the gabinet krajoznawczy. The gabinet krajoznawczy.
Gabinet?
And the dolls and gathering materials from different parts of Poland.
Where?
At school.
Gabinet?
Gabinet krajoznawczy.
Co to jest?
I think in this book it's mentioned.
Nie wiem,
ja
nie wiem, to była biblioteka.
Okay.
Biblioteka po prostu. Yeah, and it was sort of like a library. It was not like, it was a library, school library. And when I came to the school a few years back now, one of the teachers said, please may I take you to the library? It hasn't changed at all since your times. And true enough, it was like, I would remember it. I mean, not that I remembered it without seeing it, but as I walked in, yes. And that didn't change at all in the school. Other than that, nothing else really changed, I imagine, except who are the pupils now. I mean, it's...
No, but you said that it was a very patriotic school, so
yes, very much
library.
so. Yeah, yes, library. We had, we had to read, and we had to listen, it was first class, second, well, you can imagine what. But I was always, I think, very good at writing correctly, whatever I did. My writing was always, since I was very little, people praised the writing, that there were no mistakes, no grammatical mistakes, nothing. So it was, I liked to write, and the teacher would always say something pleasant about my composition or whatever it was, contrary to to mathematics, but writing was always somehow praised by teachers.
Did you
There and later too, yes, at school, really. So that I remember very well. Sometimes they would put it on the wall, but what did we write at that age? But it was very patriotic, very patriotic. Of course, yes, like schools would be at the time.
So that's why I wanted to ask about the library. Tell me what it was like. What was
Well,
the
it is,
idea behind it?
the books and things. I can't tell you exactly what. I mean, like a library, 'cause it's just, you could take out a book, you could sit
Oh,
down,
I
you
see.
could read.
Well, no. What I'm referring to is some kind of a room, which in this book is called Gabinet Krajoznawczy,
Yes,
where there were bits like dolls and other
I
memorabilia
can't
from
remember
different
that.
parts of Poland.
I can't remember
Okay.
that. No.
Okay.
Either I was
Scrap
never
that.
in it, probably not. Maybe it was for older schools. Don't forget that I was first class, second class, and that.
Yes, and then the war broke out.
That's
Yeah.
right. So it may have been for older
Okay.
girls.
Tell me if you've ever experienced any anti-Semitism at school.
I believe I did. Yes, I believe that was anti-Semitic, what I experienced, but it was not by name, so to speak. It wasn't. Nobody called me anything nasty, but this teacher did actually hit me, and
How did it come about?
it was something which would totally unknown here, I imagine, unless it is maybe in a very Catholic school. I don't know. How shall I put it? I mean, when the priest was coming for a period at school, as I said, I was outside, and two other girls, Jewish girls, we were outside. And what was going on there, I had no idea. They, as far as I was concerned, were having a lesson. What did I know? I didn't know anything. And on one such occasion, it so happened that just prior to the main break, school break, the teacher asked me to go and gave me a letter of some sort, an envelope, go and give it to the headmistress. Gave it to me to give it to her. So I ran downstairs, passed the letter to whoever at the second, And as I was coming back, the bell went, and that meant everybody out of the class. And by the time I think we were on the second floor. By the time I was upstairs, they were all outside. And that meant that they had to take their breakfast and eat it. That was the main half school break. So I went into the class to get my breakfast. Not so much for me, because I never really ate it, but there were two girls from a very obviously, I mean, little did I know then, but they must have been from a very poor home, because they never brought a breakfast. Maybe the parents didn't even have anything to give them. So they were waiting for me to give my breakfast to them. So I went to the class, got my breakfast, and gave it to them the usual way. And the next period was the priest. And after that was Polish lesson. This Elżbieta Domańska, who is mentioned by me. And as we sat down, she called me out. She said, stand up. I stood up. What were you doing in the classroom during the main break? And I said, I came to fetch my breakfast. What do you mean you came to fetch? Why didn't you get it before? I said, well, you sent me with a letter. And I explained. And by the time I was back, everybody was outside, so I went in to get my breakfast. And she said, you're lying. And I said, lying? I'm not lying. I took my breakfast, and in fact, I gave it to her. You're lying. I said, I'm not lying. I had no idea what she wanted of me. I had no idea. It was a completely... She said, come out here. So I came out, and I was standing next to her, and she said, I'm asking you again, what were you doing in this classroom when there was nobody here? And what were you doing there? I said, I came to fetch my breakfast. You're lying. You were reading the sins of, and she mentioned the name of the girl. And I had no idea what she was talking about. I didn't know anything about some sins. I didn't know what it meant. I had no idea what this was about. And I said, I did not. You took them out from the desk and you were reading. I said, I did not do anything else. I took my breakfast. So she lost her temper and she hit me. And I went straight, I flew into a corner sort of thing, and I started bleeding. My eyes were swollen. It was terrible. It was really unbelievable. I had no idea what she was on about. Because how would I know about grzechy? Jakie grzechy? Czytałaś grzechy, Litkie? Jakie grzechy? Ja nie wiem nic o grzechach. Skąd mogłam wiedzieć? How would I know?
What did your parents do? What did your parents do?
My father. Oh, my father did. My father, first of all, when I got home, my mother nearly fainted when she saw me because my eyes were swollen. Everything was swollen here. I, until today, have a little tiny bit, not that it's very visible, but there it is. And the nose was bleeding, and I must have looked accordingly terrible. And my mother was shocked, and it was just before the lunchtime, because at lunchtime my father was coming home. And when he saw me, he thought that I had an accident. I fell or something, you know. And when I told him, he said, what happened? What did you do to yourself? And I told him, he couldn't believe it. He said, what? So come here and tell me. Tell me this exactly. Come, he took me here. He said, tell me the truth. Did you do what? I said, I don't know what she wanted. I have no idea what it is. I don't know. She was talking about some sins. I don't know what that is. I came for my... And you're telling me the truth, right? You're telling me this. I said, of course I'm telling the truth. I have no idea about anything else. So he said, okay, I'll deal with this. And so he dealt with it. And how? It went to the high authority, Professor Skrzeszewski, who was, after the war, he was education minister in Poland, but here he was the head of the curatorium or something. And I was again in front of a commission of some sort, people, and I had to tell the story over and over again. And they had her apologize to me in front of the class, which she did.
What was it like with her afterwards?
Very nice.
Okay, so it did.
Afterwards, very nice, and she always praised my whatever I wrote, whatever I think. That she would sometimes even say, you see, Lili never makes a mistake here, or why do you write? You know, the grammar is difficult in Polish, but I never, it so happens that I never did in any language. So this is something that is in me. And so she